So we are recording. If you don't want to be on camera, you can turn your camera off and you can use the chat. Okay, so a little bit about us at MAPP plus D. This is a glimpse of our leadership team. And actually our leadership team is growing and changing. So there's a few faces that we need to add here. But this group of people, many of them on this call work together to make sure the student experience is robust, that it's current, that we're talking about things that are relevant to the students, relevant to our community partners, and making an impact. So this is our leadership team, and many of us are here today and excited to talk to you guys. So our school, you can see our building, an image of our building on the left, is in College Park, Maryland. We, on the right, are situated within the larger University of Maryland College Park campus. And more regionally, we're in between, kind of triangulated by Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and Annapolis. So working in the built environment, you can imagine that we think about our impact at the school level, at the campus level, and then also go beyond the campus to work in real places with real people, engaging with the built environment. And these are kind of the bigger nodes around College Park. So in the chat, you guys talked about a lot of reasons to pursue grad school, whether it's a career change, whether a degree is an important part of a licensing or accreditation process for you, or you just want to learn more about a topic you're interested in. So there's many, many different reasons to pursue grad school. They're all valid, and we're excited to support you in that, on that path. So one thing that our school is known for on campus is our dual degree program. You may or may not be interested in dual degrees, at least at the outset, but our school has 16 dual degree options. Many students that are in our program do dual degrees within our school, so architecture, planning, preservation, and real estate development. People hybridize those 2 degrees. Some reasons that this is pretty popular is that you can widen your experience and become an interdisciplinary thinker. It's more time efficient and cost effective to get 2 degrees by adding a little bit more time rather than doing 2 degrees separately. Maybe if you're thinking about something, you're interested in something, instead of saying, well, maybe I'll come back and do that later, it saves you time and money to package those degrees together. And it also helps students craft their individual educational experience, taking classes and doing research or doing work in topics that bridge, more than one field. So you can carve your own path that way. So you can pursue a dual degree as a way to amplify interdisciplinarity in your own education. You can take part in projects like PALS, which we'll talk about again a little bit later, which is a way that students come together around real world projects and issues and engage with community members. There's also great research and competition projects that happen annually in our school for students to come together with other students from other disciplines and work on national and international competitions or projects, which is really fun and productive way to get to know other students and get to understand the way the different disciplines approach problems. So our school, I think, is really strong in the area of interdisciplinary study through dual degrees, special partnerships like PALS, and then also competitions and projects that students get involved in, and not just involved in, but recognized for their excellence in certain projects. So we will talk more about that a little bit later on. So first, let's go into our areas of study, our degrees. We have Master of Architecture. There are different paths through the Master of Architecture, and you can hear more about this in the architecture breakout session. But the different paths are based on the experience students have when they come in. And getting a Master of Architecture is an important part of the path to licensure, which you can hear about in the architecture breakout session. We have a Master of Community Planning program, which is a two-year program. And this is focusing on the built environment, of course, urban development. There's lots of work with community engagement. There's a community planning studio and an internship. So you can hear more about this in the community planning breakout room. And students come from a wide array of undergraduate degrees, which I think is another amazing facet of this degree and our school in general, is that people come to these degrees with an interest in the built environment, but that interest could be grounded in so many different things, whether it's technology, whether it's transportation, whether it's policy, public health, all sorts of different things funneling into or bringing that experience rather and channeling that into planning or other built environment work. We have a two-year Master of Historic Preservation program. The Historic Preservation program focuses on conservation to preserve culture into the future. Also thinking about all the social, ethical issues and how preservation works in a diverse society. I would say similarly, in the same way we just talked about the planning program, students come to historic preservation from many different backgrounds, and the focuses can range in our program from historic sites to archaeology and others. So another great option for master's education. And then the Master's of Real Estate Development is a 2 to 2.5 year master's program focusing on foundations of business, finance, and other aspects of real estate development. There are many specializations and facets that students in the Master of Real Estate Development focus on, and the breakout session at the end of our group time together will be able to talk more in depth about all the different routes that people who complete their Master of Real Estate Development program, all the routes they take while a student and then after graduation. Lastly, we have a PhD in Urban and Regional Planning and Design. This multi-year PhD program has 4 semesters of coursework, comprehensive exam, and then followed by your dissertation work. This is an interdisciplinary degree related to all aspects of the built environment, and students go from this degree into university teaching, research, public and private nonprofit sectors. So this is a PhD degree that launches you into all sorts of different directions impacting the built environment. So those are our degree paths. Next, I want to maybe illustrate the strength of our degree paths through awards, prizes, and recognition. Like I mentioned earlier, we love the work we do in our classrooms, but we really love to get outside the classroom and have an impact, collaborate with others, and talk with people about what we're doing. So we're not only talking to ourselves, but we're getting feedback and often recognition for the things that we want to do in the world, the impact and positive changes we want to make. So one example of this is Solar Decathlon, which is a competition that asks universities and colleges from around the world to design small buildings that are solar powered and energy efficient. It is a rigorous, intensive competition, and we have historically done very well. This is an image of work that has been designed by students and faculty with collaboration from consultants, students from across different programs on the campus. And these end up being multi-year because they're built work. There are more annual competitions. So this is a project that was recognized out of, I think, like 500 entries. The 2 students that submitted this project won first place. This was part of a studio that then they submitted to timber in the city to get first place. PALS, which is Partnership for Active Learning and Sustainability, which again is a program that is housed within our school and bridges between students, faculty, and outside communities looking for support in different sustainable projects, built environment, research, planning, and PALS was recognized with the 2019 Sustainable Growth Challenge award. So that's student work and student impact on the real world getting recognized for sustainable thinking. And I think it's really a unique aspect. The PALS program is a unique aspect of our school. This is an image from a recent ULI Hines competition, which is a ideas competition for students to come together on interdisciplinary teams, so students from different programs within our school to propose a development scheme, and our students annually have committed to this very intensive project over winter, and often are presenters and winners in these very prestigious and visible venues. This is an image of our student team from one of the HUD Innovation in Affordable Housing competitions. This competition focuses on affordable housing clearly, and is again an interdisciplinary team. So students from across the different programs come together. And again, we have a long history of excellence in interdisciplinary design. We also push the work that happened. So those two, several of those actually, but those two past competitions I talked about are things that happen outside the classroom. We also encourage our students to take the work they're already doing in class and then submit it to awards and recognitions after the class is over. So not just doing in-class work and then competitions on the side, but there's also opportunities for students to take their classwork and get recognized for excellence in that way. So here's an example of a recently awarded project. And then lastly, I'll just mention that we were also recognized with the Department of Planning Sustainable Growth Awards in 2021 and 2022. These annual awards promote exemplary work based on collaboration, innovation, conservation, community impact. And so, yeah, you can see the titles here, so I don't need to read them, but I think all of these awards and all this recognition speaks to our commitment to excellence, but also our commitment to really engaging beyond the walls of the classroom, which I think is a unique facet of graduate education, and a way for students who are more advanced in their education, more advanced in their professional paths to learn, but also be out in the world talking about their work, talking about their ideas, and collaborating with others in the profession, others in academia, people in the community, so that their school becomes also a launch pad, or their schoolwork and their time with MAPP+D becomes a launch pad for what comes next. So I'll briefly, let me just check the time. Okay, a little bit more time together before the breakout room. So I'm going to talk about just a few ways to get involved as a grad student. So you might be able to project and envision what being on campus with us might look like. So we have student groups that are housed in all our programs. Our student groups come together in different ways to work on projects or events together. And you can learn more about that on our website as well. PALS is a great way to get involved and have an impact, work with fellow students, work with faculty and community members on real sustainability related projects. Our school has 2 research centers, National Center for Smart Growth and Environmental Finance Center. And those are both ways to get involved in research and project-based work, directly impacting communities around Maryland. We have education abroad programs every year. We have this year Cuba, Italy, I'm going to forget some, Japan. If I'm forgetting others, maybe Kristen or Brendan can. Scandinavia, thank you. Did I say Italy? With Brian, another one with Joseph Williams. So we have a suite of educational programs every year that rotate and change over time. Education abroad is an excellent and important way for everyone, faculty, staff, and students, or people just interested in learning more about the world, to see how things work in a different place, how cities work, how architecture, how planning, preservation, and real estate operate outside of the context we know. And the school works really hard to support students in education abroad financially, which is something that we can talk more about down the line. Or if you want to know, once we do the breakout sessions, you can come talk to us about what education abroad looks like. But really an incredible opportunity that is harder to do outside of a grad school setting. I think, honestly, the academic year really does make time for these special opportunities. Here's some images from the education abroad in Florence, for example. We have ways to get engaged on campus. You don't have to go all the way to Florence or to St. Petersburg to learn. Our campus provides a great environment for design build projects like this one, for research projects, for all sorts of cross-disciplinary work and research. So there's other ways our campus community provides great opportunities for involvement. And lastly, we have TA and GA roles. So a teaching assistant and a graduate assistant is TA and GA. And these are ways for grad students to get experience teaching in a classroom setting under the direction of a faculty member, or doing work and research in other ways as a graduate assistant. This is an excellent way to get involved, to get to know faculty, to learn more about teaching and grow those skills. Also comes with financial incentives. So another excellent opportunity for grad students. So we hope you apply. I'll just say a few things about applying quickly, but we are so glad to have you here in the open house, and excited to answer all your questions. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat as I go through. Just a few quick reminders. You can apply at gradschool.umd.edu. There's a step-by-step guide. You can follow these steps: the online application, letters of recommendation. You just enter the names of the people. Submit transcripts, test scores. If necessary, GRE is not required now. And then there's a application fee. So something to think about, as you're getting organized, the sooner you start your application, if you have any questions, the sooner you're able to answer them. So if you haven't started yet, it'd be great to get in there, gradschool.umd.edu, just register and get that application started. So as things come up, you can make sure that you're getting all your questions answered well in advance. Here are the admission deadlines. I won't read them because they're written, but if you have any questions about applying, please email arch-admissions-admissions@umd.edu. That's an email that goes to our student services team, and we can help you get whatever information you need to make sure that you're best prepared to apply. And then lastly, and very importantly, funding your graduate education. So as I mentioned, there are opportunities for graduate assistantships and teaching assistantships. There are opportunities within MAPP+D for these roles. And then there are also opportunities cross campus. So you can be a graduate assistant somewhere else on campus, for example. They come with stipend, tuition, remission, and in-state tuition if you're out of state. So that's a great option to pursue. There are also scholarships, and the financial aid office is a great resource. One thing I think that's really excellent about being at such a big institution is that there's a whole office, a whole team, a large team of people dedicated to supporting your education and helping you think through the funding of your graduate education. So you can get in contact with the financial aid office as well for even more support. So those are all the notes and announcements I have for the larger group. Let me see.
We do have a couple of questions that came in the chat. Would we like to talk about them?
Let me see. Okay. The first question is about TAGA. There's no priority consideration date for GATAs. Just get your applications in by the deadline. That's the most important thing. And for MPH and Master of Urban Planning dual degree, do you need the GRE? Kristen or Brendan, do you know which of the two dual degrees need GREs? A chance?
Sorry, I'm unmuting. There are so many with public health. It depends on which program. So if you know exactly which one you're looking at, you'll have to take a look and see if the GRE is required. The GRE is optional, for example, for the environmental health sciences. So it's the CPMI, but there's other degrees. So there's a different code for each MPH and Master of Urban Planning degree. My guess is most of them are optional, not required.
Thanks, Kristen. Okay, well, I'll be in here with Kristen and Brendan. And I think we can open our breakout rooms otherwise, so we don't waste any time or use any time from those important conversations. But if anyone wants to stay and chat with me, you're welcome to hang back. Otherwise, we'll open the breakout rooms. So if you are interested in a dual degree and don't know which breakout room to go to, just choose one. The sessions will be recorded, so we can share the breakout room that you didn't go to with you after the fact. You can email ArchAdvise and we can get you the link, or you can email the director of the program you're interested in, or you can stay back and tell us your email and we'll make sure the information gets to you. But just choose one of the programs you're interested in if you're interested in a dual degree, and then we can help you get the information that you missed.
Thank you. I am going to open up the breakout rooms here, everybody. The breakout rooms are not assigned. You get to choose where you're going, and you can hop from room to room if you choose to do so. So if you feel like you've gotten all your questions answered and you want to talk to the director of another program later on, you're welcome to do that as well, or you're welcome to come back to this main room and just chat with everybody. We'll be giving out our personal email addresses to answer all your questions, especially Lindsay. We're going to have all questions go through. We're not going to do that. ArchAdvise is the email to remember, everybody. We will answer it. So here we go. I'm going to open up breakout rooms. Please pick the one that applies to you. You'll see the titles are listed right there.